Since Guardiola took over, Man City now have one of the youngest teams in the Premier League, so I thought it would be quite interesting to see where all of their players were 5 years ago, and what clubs they were at and what they've done since, but most importantly, exactly what they were doing 5 years ago. So yeah, this could potentially be the start of a new series depending on how well this video does. Of course, it is quite similar to a lot of other videos out there, however I didn't find a video on this particular idea or thought about players a few years ago, what they were doing. So yeah, I thought why not do a video like that, and if you like this, suggest which other teams I could do in this sort of format. I think that would be quite interesting. But yeah, I suppose let's just get straight into the video. Yeah. So first of all, we have Man City's goalkeeper Edison, and 5 years ago he was at Rio Ave and he was 20 years old. Of course, he's 25 now. He wasn't on FIFA, but I've given him a 65 rated card 5 years ago in 2013. So after moving to Portugal in 2009, Edison worked his way up through the lower divisions to Rio Ave, which is in Portugal's top division, by 2012. And by the 2013 season, he was a relatively regular player for them. However, he had to contend with the experienced Casio and Salin for the goalkeeping spot at Rio Ave. They were both quite good goalkeepers then. And he played 18 times in 13-14. I believe that's one of the lowest out of all of the players who are on this sort of video. But he later moved to Benfica and then City. So yeah, it's very surprising that he was only at that small of a club 5 years ago. Next up we have Benjamin Mendy, who was at Marseille 5 years ago when he was 19 years old, and he was 65 rated on FIFA. So in 2013, Mendy had moved for €4 million to Ligue 1 club Marseille after playing in Ligue 2 since 2011. And in 2013-14, he started to break into the team in the earlier half of the season, but he was dropped to the bench later on. But he still played a fair amount of games, scoring 2 goals in 30 games in 13-14. He later moved to Monaco and then to Man City after that. Aymeric Laporte, Athletic Bilbao, 1972 rated. A few years before 2013, Laporte had caused controversy by signing for Bilbao. Athletics Bilbao can only sign Basque players, that's their policy. They can only sign players from the Basque region. And only Laporte's great-grandparents were Basque. So yeah, it was quite controversial. But however, by 2013 this issue was resolved and he was a starter for Athletic Bilbao, and he signed for City in 2018. And he scored 2 goals in 38 games in 13-14 season. Next up we have John Stones, who played for Everton when he was 19, and he was 68 rated back in 2013. And Everton signed Stones from Barnsley for £3 million in January 2013, and in the 2013-14 season he made some sporadic appearances for Everton, and it would be in later seasons that he cemented his place in that side. He played 26 games in 2013-14. And next up we have the right back of the team, Kyle Walker from Spurs. He was 23 back then and he was 79 rated on FIFA, so not too far off his rating now. He was a Premier League star already by 2013-14. He was in the Team of the Year 2 years before, and he was consistent but nothing special in 2013-14, but he didn't even make the 2014 World Cup squad, so you know, he wasn't that good. But he did score 1 goal in 35 appearances. Next up we have a Man City legend, David Silva. Of course, he was at Man City 5 years ago when he was 27, and he was 88 rated. He's 89 rated now, I believe, so not too much of a change. And he'd already played for City for 3 seasons by this time, and he'd won a Premier League title already. And he won his second and City's second in 2013-14. And when he retires, he'll be remembered as a City legend similar to Torre. He scored 1840 in 2013-14. Another player who was at Man City 5 years ago was Fernandinho. Of course, he was 28 back then. Can't believe he's 33. Seems much younger than that. But he was 81 rated. And Fernandinho moved to City from Shakhtar in 2013 for £34 million. That's quite a lot, but he has become an essential part of City's midfield, and his first season was very impressive, showing why he deserved that fee, and he's definitely gone on to merit that fee later. He scored 5 in 46 in 2013-14. And we have Kevin De Bruyne, who played for Chelsea and Wolfsburg in the 13-14 season, Chelsea for the first half and Wolfsburg for the second half. He was 22 back then and was 80 rated. De Bruyne had been at Chelsea for 2 years, but he had only made 3 league appearances, and one of these was on the opening day of the 13-14 season. However, he decided to leave Chelsea for Wolfsburg in January as he wasn't getting any playtime. The season after, he won many awards, and in 13-14 he was a bit sporadic. Of course, moving clubs is always hard. He scored 3 goals in 27 appearances, but then of course he moved on to Man City. And next we have Raheem Sterling. He was at Liverpool back then and was 18, but was already 76 rated. 13-14 was Sterling's real breakout season at Liverpool. He really started to terrorise defenders in this season and was a consistent starter. He scored 10 goals in 38 games and was named in the England's World Cup squad, and was nominated for the Premier League Young Player of the Year. However, his time at Liverpool did not end well, as I'm pretty sure most Liverpool fans don't like him very much. Not really sure why, but there you go. And we have another Man City legend here, Sergio Aguero. Was 25 back in 2013 and was 88 rated. And he's a City legend alongside David Silva, of course. Aguero scored the last minute goal to win the Premier League in 2012 in a very famous moment. And in 13-14 he continued his goal scoring form, although he was troubled by injury in this particular season. He scored 28 goals in 34 games, so that's quite a lot less goals than some of the players on this list. And finally we have Bernardo Silva, Benfica, who played for Benfica B at this time, the only player who played for a B side, and probably the player who 5 years ago was at the lowest quality. He was 19 back then and he was not on FIFA at all, but I've given him a 61 rating. And in 2013-14 he was playing for both Benfica B and he did occasionally feature for the main Benfica side. He was still very far away from being a starter for the main Benfica side. He was mainly just playing for Benfica B. He was actually the Segunda Liga's breakthrough player, so he was quite impressive in the second tier of Portuguese football. He was actually loaned out the season after to Monaco, who went on to buy him, and then he moved on to City. And he scored 7 goals in 41 games in 2013-14 in the Segunda Liga. I believe he's probably going to beat that total this season, and he's playing in the Premier League. Just shows how much he's come on from the past. So yeah, hopefully you've liked this video. Like and comment if you want to see more of this sort of thing. Yeah, and Road to Hokkaido will be coming back soon, of course. But yeah, apart from that, I think I'll just say thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.